Bella Salon and Day Spa, located at 41 West Main Street in Northeast Pennsylvania, proudly supports Chautauqua Sunrise and its volunteers. More information at bellasalonanddayspa.net. Funding is provided by a grant from New York State Senator Catherine M. Young, representing Western New York's 57th District with a local office in Olean. Chautauqua Sunrise is made possible by a grant from Fredonia Place, a continuing care retirement community providing dignity in a modern luxury environment. From the Access Channel 5 studios in Mayville, it's Chautauqua Sunrise. Chautauqua Sunrise is hosted by Doc Hamels and supported by the award-winning volunteers at Access Channel 5. Continuing the traditions of Senior Report, we are here to share local news, colorful interviews, and events of interest to everyone. Chautauqua Sunrise is broadcast live Saturday mornings each week, countywide, from 9 to 10 a.m. Join us by calling in live, emailing us, or checking out our social media. And now, from the Channel 5 studios, it's Chautauqua Sunrise.
And we're back another Saturday morning, and welcome to Chautauqua Sunrise. I'm Doc Hamels. We got a great show in store for you today, as we always do, but we're not going to talk about that quite yet because there's a whole bunch of news I got to share with you and just all kinds of cool things here at the station. Well, I think it's official. I say that every week, and I keep thinking it's officially spring, but I've been told by the farmers and those who are wise and know things about the weather that they say that if the snow falls on the crocuses, or crocuses. I took Latin, I think it's croci. If it snows 3 times on the crocuses, that it's officially spring. And then the others, my wife's family will say, and this is kind of interesting little one, they said that the peepers have to look through glass 3 times. And I used to wonder, well, what are they talking about? Well, the peepers are out in the ponds and they have to look up through the ice, so that'd be like glass. So I believe our ponds have froze over 3 times, at least, overnight. So I think we're almost there. I see a forsythia starting to burst. I saw somebody's magnolia tree ready to blow up, and so we're almost over the hill. Now, you see the picture behind me here. We got to sort of have our winter scenes. Next week, guaranteed, we're going to have new photos. Winter's gone. We're going to bring in spring officially here at the station. So look for the new pics that we're going to have. The guys and I, we voted on them. We've got some great photographers here. They volunteer their work, and I'm going to be excited to share that with you. Okay, update on the bird. I have a bird that visits me every day. This nutty bird is a robin, and every morning, and I look, and who's at the door? It's the robin. It seems like as soon as the sun rises from behind the house, he sees his reflection in the window. The only thing I can think of, I've given up on the spider theory. I'm sorry, there's no spiders there. He must see his reflection, and because it's mating season, I think he sees himself in the window as a possible rival. And so he keeps attacking his rival, and in this case himself. He was out there this morning, and I go, get out of here. You're waking up the whole household. But on the other side of the house, and this is probably a more interesting story, to me anyways, is that for the last 5 years, these robins keep coming back to the exact same nest in our downspout. There's a little curve in there, and they put a nest up there, and it's like a perfect location for a nest. It's just out of the way of the wind and stuff, and they're back again. And they usually have 2 or 3 sets of eggs. You call it a brood? I don't know what you call it. What do you call them? They have more chicks. Anyways, they lay their eggs 3 times or so every year, and they're back. And I just find that amazing. So one day I looked up, well, how long do robins live? Well, I guess robins can live 5-6 years anyways. So these guys keep coming back every year. So I think Dad's banging on the window to take care of any rivals, and Mama's sitting in the nest. Crazy place at my house. Okay, I got to announce this one. I always like to do a shout out to folks that let me know they're watching the show. So here's a shout out to Dave Jens from Mayville. He contacted me, said he's going to be, he watches the show all the time and used to watch the senior report. So Dave, thanks for watching and keeping up with us. All right, we got a bunch of slides and news here for us today. And I'm just going to go through them as quickly as I can because we don't want to spend too much time on this. Okay, let's start off with the Diamond Dinner auction. Okay, tonight, this is the last time you're going to see this slide. This is going to be at the Athenaeum. I had to practice that because I'm going to be the Masters of Ceremony there tonight. And if you're going to be attending, great, come out and say hi. Chuck Ludwig will be the guest auctioneer. And I saw the prizes yesterday, the things that you can bid on, and there's some great prizes and packages, and there's some things for the institution you can bid on. There's a silent auction where you go around and write your number next to these particular prizes, and whoever has the highest bid, of course, gets to take it home. So lots of things. We're looking forward to a great night. So if you're involved with that, I'll see you then, and if not, maybe you still can get tickets. I don't know. But anyways, this is all for the Child Advocacy Program, and I got to do a shout out to Chris Burt, our director here behind the scenes. Chris produced an entire 5-minute, doesn't seem like a long time, but 5 minutes is a lot of film and editing, but he developed a 5-minute video for the Child Advocacy Program, and it's going to be debuted tonight. So I'm so proud of Chris. I got a chance to see it already, and he did a spectacular job. And so well done, Chris Burt. Okay, let's keep on moving. That's auction number 1. That's tonight. Auction number 2, we have a Rotary auction, the Westfield Mayville Rotary auction. You guys got to go to this. This is a lot of fun. $10 to get in. The $10 gets you a chicken dinner, Chevette's Chicken Barbecue, plus a chance to win $500. That's before you do anything. So you get to eat and get a chance to win money. And there's more fabulous prizes. And you have until May 16th to save up your money from tonight. So you can come to our auction, and the proceeds go, this particular auction, the proceeds go to our community back in. Dave Brown will be our auctioneer again. I'll be emceeing that again. Dave and I have lots of fun, and we raise a lot of money, and it helps kids go to camp, the food pantries, the children's safety education village, scholarships to 4 different schools. It's a great program. It's a great organization. And that's coming up May 16th. Okay, my friends over at the Infinity Performing Arts, they have their spring showcase coming up on May 9th. This is all their students. They put together a great program, and there's the information for you. So check it out, and I just love that program over there. We're big supporters of them, and Shane Hawkins and all the crew are working with the kids. And if you remember, Steve Gustafson was on the show a while back, and we both said, my gosh, if we had an Infinity when we were growing up, we would be like the Beatles. We would be rock stars. We would be great writers or dancers or whatever, actors, because it gets the kids a head start and really promotes the arts. Okay, then now we have Senior Citizens Breakfast. This is in Westfield. It's going to be at the Academy coming up Thursday, May 7th. And as you can see, there's all the information. And there's going to be some music, looks like, and then if you are interested, call that number, 326-2154, and it's going to be in the cafeteria. So Senior Citizen Breakfast, and it says no charge. Nice gift back to our senior citizens that support their schools. We do the same thing in Ripley, but it's at Christmas time. Now, here's a new event, and this is by the same group, the Westfield Mayville Rotary Club, a Shred Fest. Now, if you are like me, you're a hoarder, and you have lots of papers and files and things that have been piling up probably 10, 15 years, and if you want to get rid of those, there you go. It's $10 and for a box or a grocery bag, and they're going to shred it for you, and all the proceeds from that particular project, again, goes to the Westfield Mayville Rotary Club, and that helps support community projects. Okay, now, one more that's not on there. Did I miss one here? Hold on a second. I got 2 more. Okay. My little buddy, Braley Lackner, over in the Lakewood area, his troop, 131, is going to have a spaghetti dinner on May 16th at 4 p.m. And That it will be held at the Lakewood Legion Post, 1286, and adults are $8, and the kids get a special rate. So spaghetti dinner, Troop 131, May 16th. Now, I thought I had one here for the Westfield, Mayville. They have an event coming up too. Okay, I think that particular event is over, but I'll check it out when we go on a break. I'll have to look that one up. Okay, I know I talked about it last week. I'll see if I can dig that out. Okay, in other news, I love this. Big announcement, everybody. This is great. I can't wait to talk about this. So here we go. I got an email a little while ago out of the clear blue from Jason Sample. Jason Sample works at WRFA 107.9, and that's a radio for the arts in Jamestown. And he says, Dennis Drew wants to get a hold of you. I go, all right, I know who Dennis is. Dennis is the general manager of the radio station. He's also the keyboard player for the 10,000 Maniacs. So I thought, wow, what's he want? Well, long story short, we got together, and from this day forward, there we are. There's our official collaborative picture. Dennis and I, we look like twins, don't we? We could be brothers. I think he is my brother. And he and I have agreed that from this day forward, we are going to be sending today's show, just the soundtrack, to the radio station, and they're going to create a time slot, and I'm not sure when it's going to be. We'll announce it one way or the other, whether on Facebook or next week on the show. They're still working the details out, but they're going to broadcast the show in its entirety on their radio station every single week. And Dennis is going to get on the show here later on in the year, and there he is. That's in his studio. He interviewed me that particular day, and that's going to be broadcast at a later date, I guess. So I just want to thank Dennis Drew and all the folks at WRFA, and we look forward to a long and fun collaboration where we tie east and west and north and south. We connect in the county and all the information that goes back and forth. So great news, and so happy to be working with Dennis. Okay, in other news, music students of the Infinity Visual Performing Arts Center will give a recital on April 25th at the Infinity Arts Cafe. The recital will be held at 1 p.m. Community members are encouraged to attend and support Infinity students. The recital is free and open to the public. Instructors at the Infinity Visual Performing Arts Center will be putting on also the free concert May 1st at 7 p.m. in the same cafeteria, the cafe they call it. This performance will be open to the public and will feature a variety of musicians. Also, in other news, the Crossroads Farm and Craft Market will be opening for its 18th season. That's hard to believe, on May 2nd. So mark your calendars. They always got great things going up there. Also, May 9th, annual I just read this stuff. Saturday benefit, soup cook-off for Lily's Hope at the Zonta Club in Jamestown, New York. So that's coming up May 9th. And also I saw there's going to be a paper and something else, currency, I guess, show at the Easton Hall coming up 2 weeks from now. May 9th is going to be at Easton Hall. So those are things coming up. Let me see if I got anything else I want to talk about. Also, remember this is National Child Abuse Prevention Month. And as I always say, if you know something that's going on in the life of a child, report it to the proper authorities, get a hold of a child advocacy program, and let's take care of our kids in our community, because the statistics are staggering that of what's going on in our communities, in our county, and throughout the country. So with that, stay tuned. We're going to have a public service announcement, and we'll be right back.
I never thought I could be brave enough. I'm not trained to do that kind of stuff. But I decided to take the first step.
Is there a fire in you? Volunteer at www.fireinu.org.
Okay, folks, we're back, and you are watching Chautauqua Sunrise. We are broadcasting from the county seat in Mayville, New York. And I want you to know that if you are interested in sharing an event, just like we've been talking about here for a little bit, if you have an anniversary or birthday, something that you have for your organization that is of interest to the rest of the community, give us a call at 753-5225. You can text us, you can Twitter us, you can Facebook us, you can get a hold of us by stopping off at the studio, handing Jeff or Chris a piece of paper with the information. We're here for you, and we want to hear from you. So in light of birthdays, I want to wish my one son, Sean Hamels. He just turned 38. I know I don't look old enough to be a father of a 38-year-old, but it's true. Anyways, Sean, happy birthday, and have many, many more. I have two sons that have birthdays in April. Justin just had his last week. Okay, enough of that. And somewhere along the line, I never know how I get involved with these things, but I was asked to play music a couple of years ago. Maybe it's longer, I don't even know. And it was something to do with something going on in Westfield. And they said that they were going to have this soft opening for this thing called the Grape Discovery Center. And I was this musician, I played my little music in the background. And it was over at the old Ford dealership on Route 20 in Westfield. And it's between Ripley and Westfield out that stretch. And from that day forward, I became very, very interested and involved with what was going on over there. And we've had programs about that here at Access 5. And I've had a chance to visit them from time to time. And I've stopped in there to buy products for families and gifts. And from the day I played music to where it is now, it's like a world of difference. It's full of stuff and lots of things happening. And I've invited Christina McKane to be on the show today, and Andy Dufresne, who's going to help her out. And right now I want to welcome Christina to the show.
Good morning.
Good morning. And I know you had to wait a little bit till I got done talking, but lots of things to talk about here. So, Christina, I know that you have been with the Grape Discovery Center for about a year and a half, I guess.
I've been managing it for the last year.
Okay. So how did you get involved with the center to begin with? I mean, how does that happen?
Well, I graduated from Jamestown Business College.
Okay.
I was very interested in running a business. I happened to come across this ad one day, and I got in contact with them right away. I started out as an assistant there. The manager that was there eventually left.
Right. Mackenzie had been on the show a while back. Mm-hmm.
So I had to apply for this position just the same as anybody else and go through the whole process, and worked very hard at it, and they picked me.
Well, congratulations and welcome to the show. And Mackenzie was from Sherman, I think, but you're not from Sherman. Where are you from?
I'm from Mayville.
Okay, and grew up here? Originally. Went to school in Mayville?
Went to school in Mayville.
Did you go to Chautauqua, the new school?
For a year.
For a year?
Right.
So you were the transition group.
That's right.
Okay. And your family's from the Mayville area?
Yeah, they still live here.
Okay, great. Okay, so I know that you've been doing some things that are, I don't want to say different, but you've been enriching the Discovery Center from what I can see from where it was. Everybody has their time and place in an organization, and you've taken it to the next level. I'm sure of it. So tell us about it. What have you been doing?
Well, I'm working on a lot of events. Events has been huge this year. We're working on a lot of workshops, focusing on educational workshops and classes. We recently had a series of 4 wine classes going through different techniques of wine tasting. And we have another series coming up, and it will be Introduction to Food and Wine Pairing, which will be on May 6th. And this is instructed by Bob Green, and he is the instructor at the Culinary and Wine Institute at Mercyhurst.
Great. Okay, so it sounds like you've taken it from a static exhibition area. Now you're getting people involved and learning more about it.
Right.
Okay. Now, let's wind back the tape a little bit, and let's find out for the viewers, because some people still don't know where it is, they still don't know what it is, they don't know that they can just walk in there and all that sort of thing. What is the Grape Discovery Center? And I'll let you guys talk about it between you two. So what is it?
Well, It is an exhibit room
Okay.
where it goes through 150 years of grape growing history in the region.
150 years.
That's right. And then we have a wine tasting area
Mm-hmm.
where we promote all the wineries in the region. So you can come on in and taste all the different wines. And then we have a retail area, which is so much fun. We have anything grape that you could imagine. And I'm always still looking for anything grape possible.
Okay, and a little while in the show, you're going to talk about some of those things.
Yep, I brought some things in.
Okay, so we'll hold off on that. So retail. Okay, so let's go to Andy. Andy Dufresne, welcome back. Why the Discovery Center? Why would this? Where did the idea come from, and why do we have it?
Well, thanks, Doc. And I do remember you in the back corner almost 2 years ago when we had our soft opening in the Grape Discovery Center.
It was very nice.
Actually, I'll go back in time a little bit because the Concord Grape Belt Heritage Association is a not-for-profit 501c3 corporation. We celebrated our 10th anniversary last September 21st, I believe.
This organization's been in place for 10 years?
This organization's been in place
So
for
this
10
isn't
years.
an overnight success?
Oh, this was not the first event. Or the association started. A major goal was to assist the grape farmers in the grape region economically. So do things to promote grapes, the Grape Belt region, and so. Promoting the region is one of our big goals, promoting great products and so on. One of the early things that we did, and of course we started out as a shoestring organization without much money, and so one of the first things somebody said, well, you know, you can get some free publicity if you become a New York State heritage area. New York State Office of Parks, Recreation, and Historical Preservation has a program where they recognize special, unique places in New York State. It actually started out as an urban recognition program, but then it was expanded to include like the Erie Canal. And we put in an application because we said we've got a 150-year history of growing grapes here.
Absolutely.
We're the only agricultural area so far. The Heritage Program had not recognized an agricultural area. So in 2006, we were designated as a heritage area, and we had 4 years to develop a management plan of what we were going to do as a heritage area to promote the region and meet our goals and objectives and so on. Of course, heritage tourism, cultural tourism, natural resource tourism were all some of the things that came out of that. And the development of the Grape Discovery Center was an ultimate goal to be able to tell our story, have our own showplace and so on.
All right,
so it goes back to the Concord Grape Belt
So
Heritage
before
Center.
10 years ago, if you wanted to learn about grapes, where would you go?
Well, if you were a farmer, we've had a Cornell University. Since I've spent 33 years with Cornell Cooperative Extension in New York State, as far as farmers and agriculturalists and so on, there's Cornell University. But as far as the general public, there was not a place, much of a place to get educated about the grape industry and grape
I don't know if I mentioned this to you. I think I did, but Christina doesn't know this.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you do. I talk a lot, so I don't know. Well, when I was a teacher back at BOCES, I helped develop an actual unit that was part of the BOCES science kits. And we developed a traveling kit that was on how to cultivate and learn about grapes and had hydrometers and all that good stuff.
Sure, exactly.
So that was, at that time, a recognition of the fact that we had this industry and that kids should know about it.
Sure. Yeah.
But so up to 10 years ago, nobody was even talking about how to recognize the industry.
Right, and we modeled ours after the Cranberry Discovery Center in Wisconsin, which a rural area, many of the similarities, small rural communities, but located on a major highway and so on. And when we were discussing the creation of a Grape Discovery Center, Dave Mumberger went to the Cranberry Center, came back enthused and lots of ideas and so on. And that led to we owe an awful lot to Senator Young, which helped us to obtain a upstate revitalization grant, which allowed us to purchase the old Ford dealership, like you said, which had been vacant, but goes back to the 1970s and had been a car dealership ever, from the 70s up until 2004 or 5. That building has been remodeled into a very attractive, it's not completely remodeled, but a very attractive Grape Discovery Center with everybody compliments
And I got to tell folks, if you walk in there, your eyes go, wow, it is modern, it's classy, it makes you say, come on in and learn more.
Right.
The woods, the grains, the colors, it's perfect.
Right. That's working with professional architects and all of that, you know, the color and all of that beyond me, but they took that all into consideration to make things attractive. And so I want to talk a little bit about place. Maybe we'll come back.
Yeah,
you know, because
I got a lot of questions for Christina too. But
all right.
Let's talk. Go ahead. You said place, and you have something behind you there.
Yeah, behind me is a map, and this is just a small version. When you walk in the door up there, the Grape Discovery Center, on the wall opposite you, when you make your entrance, will be this big map. It's 20 feet long by about 5 feet high, and it's actually a satellite image of the Grape Belt region. And it shows in purple the actual vineyards. And I like to, when people come in, you know, one of the questions, you know, you like to find out where they're from and so on. And you like to discuss, you know, why do grapes grow here, especially the young people, school kids and so on. And that map gives us a way to introduce why this region is so special. And what, you know, I'd say there are three things that make this special.
Number one.
Number one. What's number one? Well, what do you see in the picture here? What do you look out the window and you see this big Lake Erie, okay?
Yeah.
So then you can talk about the big wadi of water of Lake Erie and how that contributes to special microclimates and special region and so on, but that's only part of the story, okay? So Lake Erie, you know, with its ice and cold water in the spring, keeping back in the bud development so we don't have so much frost damage, and the fall extending that growing season, 3 or 4 years plays its role. The second thing is the escarpment. You know, yesterday I had to go to Westfield, and when I was driving through Mayville here, my GPS on my car said 1,500 feet. When I started down that hill to Westfield, I got down to 730 feet elevation on Main Street in Westfield, and if I'd have gone to the water, it would have been about 560, 600 feet.
I live on the escarpment. Mine is 1,900 feet.
Okay, it goes up to 900 feet. But I mean, we have that wall there, in a sense, and a lot of times people don't realize what the change in elevation is going from Mayville to Westfield. Now, I'm a Vermonter. I grew up in the hills of Vermont, not far from a big ski area. And one time when I was up there, I'm going up to Stowe Mountain, and I'm going to what we call over the mountain. And I have to look at GPS, and by golly, the change in elevation wasn't that much different feet-wise than going from the lake to Mayville. So you don't realize what a change in elevation there is going from Mayville down to Lake.
Okay, so
and that creates, that's that wall that when you have got the cold air, the warm air,
you got the lake,
trapped down there.
The escarpment.
You got two. And
That's
the third
two.
one is the soils that we have down there.
Good dirt.
Okay, good dirt. You know, to most people, soil is soil, dirt is dirt. But, you know, as somebody who worked for farmers in the county, you know, and ran around with a soil manual in my book, you know there's some 40 different soils in Chautauqua County. And the soils along Route 20 were actually, once upon a time, Lake Erie was larger.
That's
and
right.
that was the beach shore. And that left behind, with the glaciers and so on, left behind a deep, gravelly soil. Now, if you're right up near the lake, you'll find some clay, mucky soil. And if you're up in the escarpment, probably close to where you are, it's a combination of a lot of shell rocks and so on, and clay. But along that Route 20,
lots of clay, yes.
along that Route 20 is a beautiful ridge of well-drained soil. So the soils, water from Lake Erie and the escarpment creates a special place. And you go from Erie to Buffalo, and that's what that map will show, this area about 50 miles long. But when you go west of that or east of that, it kind of levels out and you don't have the effect. So we're really in a unique place. The other thing that I like to point out about the uniqueness of the place that young people get a kick out of, I think, is the Continental Divide, or the divide that exists there. And this is a watershed divide, because I always like to say, well, if it's raining in Westfield, where's that water going to end up? And if it's raining in Mayville, where's that water going to end up? And you know, we have two major, well, actually I have more, but if it's raining in Westfield, it's going to make it into Lake Erie and eventually out through the St. Lawrence watershed area to the Atlantic Ocean. If it's raining here in Mayville, it's probably going to go through the streams that are going south, Lake Erie and Chautauqua River and Ohio River and Gulf of Mexico. So it's kind of unique that we have this line, and you can actually see it on the map behind me. Raining on one side, you're going to a major watershed. Raining on the other side, you're heading to the Gulf of Mexico. So geologically, we have a lot of features here that are quite unique and interesting.
Great. Okay, let's hold that discussion right there. Folks, you're watching Chautauqua Sunrise. My guests are Christina McKane, manager of the Grape Discovery Center, and Annie Dufresne. What's your title?
I'm a volunteer.
Volunteer.
And director.
Okay, and we're talking all about the Grape Discovery Center. So let's get back to Christina here. Christina, you can you kind of describe a little bit more about the exhibit room? That would be the Star Family room.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us a little bit about that? Because people, they think, oh, we're going to go see bottles of wine, and we're going to see some pictures. This room is one of my favorite places in the world.
No, it's great. As soon as you walk in, you're just amazed. It goes through the whole history of all the old propaganda and advertising that they used to use for Welch's. And it has a lot of antique equipment in there that they used to use to bottle the wine and the grape juice. Also, a lot of interactive displays for the children. We even have a mastodon bone that's in there, and everybody thinks that's just the greatest thing.
That is the greatest thing.
That was found in one of the vineyards around this area. And after a little bit more research about that, I found out that mastodons love to eat grapes. So that can explain that. Yeah.
Now, age-wise, what do you recommend for children? Because sometimes you take kids interactive and they're just, you know,
I
around.
welcome all ages
All
to
ages.
come in, definitely.
And school groups?
Of course.
Boy
Actually,
Scout
I just
girls,
had a
Girl
Girl
Scouts?
Scout group from Southwestern come on Thursday, and they had a great time.
So they would contact you, and is there a
I've
phone
already
number?
invited them back.
Is there a phone number for people to contact you?
Of course. 326-2003.
Okay. So we'll announce that again later on.
Okay.
And so if a group, could be a civic group, a senior citizens group, it could
Any
be
group.
any group.
Any
Ladies Car
tour.
Club, Saturday
I've
afternoon.
had car cruise-ins before. I accept
nice.
any tour, any buses, any organization.
And how much does it cost to go?
Free admission.
Free admission. What
course.
supports this whole organization?
Well, we work to make the retail area, we want it to be a self-sustaining business.
Okay, perfect.
That's
Yeah.
the point of it. We are a nonprofit organization. We have the retail area to support our business.
Okay, it's gorgeous. Yeah.
Let me just expand a little bit on Christina's comments, exhibit room. We worked with a firm out of down near Philadelphia. So this firm had experience in developing our type of exhibit areas and so on. And there were 4 major themes that we developed. One was the geological reason why grapes grow here and so on that I mentioned. Another one was the understanding the seasons of the year and what happens in a vineyard. So you have the spring, the summer, the fall, harvest time, and then winter and so on. So we tell a story of you know, a year in a vineyard in a sense. And everybody loves the grape harvesting exhibits. They all want to know how grapes are harvested and so on. And then marketing, and of course the history of grape growing. You know, up until the 70s, everything was done by hand. You know, the picking of grapes, the trimming of grapes, and everything. Was all done by hand, and then in the 70s, you know, we moved into the mechanical harvest and so on. There's a book there that I like to tell people to look at because in 1910, 1907, and 8, there was like over 5,000 train carloads of boxes of grapes leaving the Chautauqua grape region and heading for Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Chicago, all over. So part of the exhibit is to tell the story of not only the industry but people, and Dr. Welch, who played a key role in you know, moving the industry to a grape juice industry and so on. So you can learn a lot about the history of the grape industry in the exhibit room.
Christina, what's the big deal? The big deal when I'm going here is, so you got a few farmers and you got some farms. How big is the grape industry? Is it a big deal?
It's a huge deal.
How huge?
There's 300,000 acres of grapes.
300,000?
30,000.
30,000. I thought we expanded.
Okay.
I do the same. I do it all the time. I add zeros to things. I make things up. I told you that. So
Yeah.
30,000.
30,000.
I don't get 30, 300. It's all the same. It's huge.
And I think a lot of people are not aware that it is the oldest and largest grape growing region in the world.
And do we, Andy might answer this one because I know this is a technical question. Do we know, like, how much value this industry is in the region?
Well, we did a study, and the study is now 5-6 years old. We did a study through Cornell
All right,
University.
we'll extrapolate. We'll add a couple
Cornell,
percent.
and Cornell University and Penn State University, and it had an annual value of $340 million. So
Whoa. Say it again slower.
$340 million annual
from this region here.
from these two counties. So it is a major economic impact in the area. Employed directly, the number was 1,900 and some. In direct employment. So economically, we knew that it was an important industry. In agriculture and so on, we have ways of using multipliers and so on. But when we did this study, it was even more of an impact than we thought. So it is a big economic
This is a big
impact.
deal.
That's why they say agriculture and tourism, are our two largest industries here in Chautauqua County. I think that's still true. Things have changed a lot in recent decades, but it is economically still a major part of our industry. Food processing, you just see the food processors we still have in the area, and food processing, of course, is a major manufacturing. Sometimes it shows up in the industrial numbers. You have to. It's manufacturing, but it's part of agriculture. You wouldn't have the food manufacturing without the agricultural products.
There's a part of the center that I was just thinking of that we haven't mentioned, I don't think, and that's the Steve Barron patio. And that is such a cool area. Steve was a mover and shaker, he and his wife Helen, and great supporters of this whole project, and I know Helen was on the board and so forth, and she probably still is, knowing Helen.
She's the president.
Sorry Helen, I didn't know you were the president. Helen and I sit on other things together. But when Steve was such a great guy, and it was so nice that when I helped open that patio, our Rotary Club was involved with that as well. And the thing about that it's nice is that you can go out there, you can have a little something to eat, you can have a little wine, a little juice or whatever, but you can actually go up and look at the grapes throughout the seasons, huh? Tell us
That's
about
right.
that.
And I'd be happy to take you right out in there too, which is even better. But we also rent out our facility for parties, showers, meetings.
What's your capacity at this point?
40 comfortably.
40, okay.
More if you combine the wine area and the patio.
Okay.
So maybe even up to 60 at that point.
One of the things we haven't talked about is your hours. When you open and all that?
Beginning May 1st, we'll be open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 5, and then Sundays, noon to 5.
Okay, so you're going to be open a lot, so pretty
We
quickly.
are.
And then in the wintertime, you have a little different hours. You kind of cut back a
We're
little
normally
bit.
closed Mondays and Tuesdays.
Okay, great. Products. Andy was talking about food processing, and you got a bunch of things here, and I just want to start out here. I don't know if you can see that. This is my little treat that Christina brought me. Tell us about this.
That is a Concord grape sucker, just for you.
Just for me. I'm going to hide this so nobody else sees this in my household, including Max the dog. Well, thank you for that.
But I brought in a few
Yeah,
products.
let's talk about, because people always think Welch's grape juice or whatever.
Right, well,
and
there's
that's
so much
great.
more.
And there's so much more. So
And
what do you got here?
What I brought is made from grapes grown right in our region.
Okay, first one.
Concord grape concentrate.
So what do you do with this?
There's so many different things you can do with it, from, of course, making grape juice, to I have recipes that you can make different salmon dishes, chicken dishes.
Really?
All kinds of things.
I'll have to check that. I like salmon. All right, so there's concentrated Concord, and this is raised here.
Yes.
Where's it processed?
Right in Westfield.
Perfect.
Growers Cooperative Plant.
Okay, what's next?
This is a Concord grapeseed vinaigrette
What is that?
salad dressing
Okay.
made from grapes grown
Number
right
2.
here.
And what, so I'm trying to get these all on here. All right, so this doesn't look grapey, it looks red. What's the deal? What's in here? What are the ingredients, do you know? All right, I'll look.
Thanks.
All right, it says vegetable oil, golden balsamic vinegar, onion, water, Concord grape juice, sugar, grape seed oil, all kinds of poppy seed, and mustard. That's probably the mustard that kind of gives it a little different cast. So, all right, great. So there's 2. So you can make juice, you can use this on your salads every night.
Right, and you can make pie too.
Pie.
Grape pie.
You know, I never thought that I would ever eat grape pie. And I love pie. There's a pie I don't like, and I forgot where it was. I had grape pie, and it's unbelievable, especially with the skins. Are the skins still in there? It's awesome, and you might say, ooh, seeds are gone. There's no seeds in there. I'm pretty sure they take the seeds out. But Concord grape pie is just absolutely outstanding, and if you haven't tried that, you got to try it. So this is just like you go to the store, you get apple, peach, cherry, whatever filling.
Right.
Put it right in there.
That's right.
Okay, great.
And then I also have a Concord grape dessert topping that you can put on your ice cream.
It's grape berry, so there's other kinds of things in here. Okay, raspberries, blueberries. And these are processed here?
That's from the Brick Village Gourmet.
Oh, that's just
here
down
in
the road.
Mayville. That's right.
Oh, that's a local
I do
one.
a lot of work with Tim Murphy.
Okay.
I sell a lot of his products. And new that I just got in yesterday is Concord grape popcorn.
Have you tried it?
It's great.
It's
excellent.
great.
You want to try some?
After the show.
I'll leave it with you.
The crew, they need a little treat. All right, so where's that made?
That's made right in Northeast.
Northeast Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
So, and well, we need to digress a little bit. We didn't really we said 2 county, we said the general area, and all this sort of thing. Where does the grape belt start, and where does it end?
Well, we used to use the slogan from Harbor Creek to Silver Creek, okay, because most of the grapes are going to be between Silver Creek, which is in the northeastern part of the county, and Harbor Creek is just this side of Erie, Pennsylvania. Actually, Growers has some members the other side of Erie, PA, and I'm sure there's some grapes. There are grapes east of Silver Creek. But when we started out an organization, we said Silver Creek to Harbor Creek. The other thing is that grapes grow up to an elevation of about 1,300 feet. So basically, it's an area that's about 50 miles long, 4 or 5 miles wide. And once you get above that 1,300-foot elevation, you won't find very many grapes. There is a place over in Ripley. I believe it's the highest spot that I've seen grapes in the Grape Belt region, and I think there's some grapes growing at 1,400 feet there, right on the Ripley, Pennsylvania border. But otherwise, pretty much the Grape Belt region, as the map shows, is very...
Well, obviously you haven't visited Doc's Vineyard. I've got 8.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's not well publicized, and I don't sell my products. It's for human and dog consumption only. Oh no, the dog can't eat grapes. I forgot about that. No.
But I mean that's where our principal Grape Belt region is.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And it's the largest contiguous grape region east of the Rocky Mountains. Of course, California and Washington states are large grape growing regions, but a lot of times people think of the Finger Lakes. There's more sex appeal to wineries. There are now 400 wineries in New York State. There are wineries, I believe, in almost every county of New York State. We don't grow grapes in every county, so they're getting juice. Some of that juice may come from Chautauqua County or Erie County, Pennsylvania, but I think just last week or so we hit the 400 wineries in New York State. It's become known as quite a wine tourist area. One of the major wine magazines named New York State as the state to see in 2015.
Awesome.
The top wine place to go and visit and see, because we do have some great wineries. We lag. We have 25 wineries now, and we have some nice some nice wines being produced in our area. Christina,
I don't know if it's my imagination, but it seems like every month another winery pops up somewhere in the area. Andy said 25.
25.
Do they all work with you guys?
We do a lot of collaborations together. We do a lot. We support each other is what we do.
Okay.
And I have a lot of events coming up as well that I'd like to get into before we run out of time.
We still have about 14, almost 15 minutes, and it's up to Andy. He's sharing your airspace here. So.
Oh, I know. I'm just supporting Christina here. We certainly want to talk about some of the events.
So, all right. So you said you've had some wine tasting and things like this and educational things. So what else you got coming up?
Well, our vision is to be an experience destination. So on May 6th, like I mentioned before, we have an introduction to food and wine pairing. And then coming up after that, we're going to have a Children's Day at the Grape Discovery Center on May 9th. And that's when we're going to make some Mother's Day crafts and have some grape-inspired snacks and take the children out into the vineyard. And Andy's going to talk about the mysteries of the grapevine out there that day.
Andy, I got to remind you that children's attention span is 45 seconds.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
You're full of information.
We've had some young groups there.
I'm just playing with you. Okay. So you got a Children's Day and you got a pairing. Can I ask you questions about the pairing?
Sure.
What do you mean by that? Because remember, I've got an audience that may or may not know what
That's
that
right.
means. So that's my job.
The food, it'll be an introduction to food and wine pairing. So we'll talk about what wines go with what foods, and
there's cheeses too. Is you going to be talking about cheese?
you can pair wine with anything from chocolate to pizza to just about anything. We've done it all.
So is there a fast rule about how you pair wine?
Well, Bob Green is the expert on that.
Okay.
If you'd like to come to the class.
Well, you never know.
Okay.
You never know who's going to show. And that's going to be when? May what? May 6th.
May 9th.
May 9th.
May 6th.
May 6th.
Yes.
30,000, 300,000. May 6th. See, I told you.
I only had 1 cup of coffee this
You
morning.
only have 1 cup of, I do this all the time, so it's okay. So, pairing is learning how to serve wine with certain foods that would do what? Bring out the flavor of the wine?
Right, exactly.
And maybe enhance the flavor of the food. So we kind of
Definitely.
go to the chemistry of all that.
That's right.
Okay. See, I used to be an administrator over vocational classes, and they would drag me into the culinary arts, and I had to learn about all the food science. So I'm really into this. So, all right.
After that, we're going to have the spring wine experience when we're going to pair seasonal recipes with local wines.
Seasonal recipes. So like things that are coming out of your garden?
That's right.
Did you see the show last week? I had Adrienne Ploss here, and she was waking up our gardens, and we were talking about all the good foods that are here in Chautauqua
I'll
County.
have to watch it on YouTube.
Well, you should contact her too.
I should.
Yeah, she can come in with all their vegetables. They're all organic. It's really not
Perfect.
chemical. Yeah.
After that, July 11th, we're going to have Wine in the Vines, which is a wine party out on our patio. And I'll have live music by Brian Hanna from 1 to 4. And we're going to have some wine and food pairing activities that I'm still developing.
Okay. So, and will there be a cost for any of these things?
Not so far, except for the introduction to food and wine pairing will be $15 a person.
Okay. So, I am remiss. How do people find out information after the show is done? And they can look at us on YouTube, but is there a Facebook website?
We have a Facebook page, which I'm continuously posting any
Okay.
events or activities
So how
that we
would
have
folks
there.
find it? What would they put in?
Lake Erie, Concord, Grape Belt.
Yeah,
Holy mackerel.
just search Grape Discovery
Yeah,
Center.
it'll
I
pop
think it'll
right up.
pop up
Grape,
top
so
of
just
it.
put Grape Discovery Center.
Yeah.
Boing.
Bing, and I
Or you
think
can
it'll-
check out our website, www.grapediscoverycenter.com.
That's the easy one.
Yes.
Okay.
After that, we are going to have a fundraising event for the Chautauqua Blind Association, which
Wow.
is on August 13th.
Is that with Lisa Goodell?
Yes, I've been
Okay.
working a lot with her lately.
Wonderful.
We're going to have a live high-end art auction at 7 p.m. We're going to have guided exhibit tours at 6 and at 6:30 p.m.
High art. What is that?
Well, we're still working on obtaining all that art. It will be
I mean, we're talking like expensive?
not like a Van Gogh or anything like that. It'll all be local
Something
artists.
Andy could and I could afford, you know,
Right.
like a
Definitely.
Picasso or something like that.
Right. More details will come about as soon as I have that information.
Now, are you involved with the what do they call that? The art trail? The art trail. Yeah.
The North Shore Arts Council.
Yeah.
Yes, I've done some work with them in the past.
Okay. So
And I'll be doing some more work with them in the fall, too.
so pairing art with wine
Right.
and food and cheese
There's
and
so much
pizza
going
and
on.
chocolate. It's all good.
But for this event, it's $15 per person or $25
And that's for
per
the-
couple.
and
And
that's-
that's a fundraising event for
and-
the Chautauqua
and-
Blind
And
Association.
do you have a title for that?
Intrigue your senses with an evening of wine and art.
Are they going to? No, I'm not playing around now. Are they going to do the blindfold like they have Eat in the Dark?
No.
No. So I ask these questions.
No, that's become a big deal, too.
Lisa
Lisa and I were
just
talking
had
about
that, so
that,
I
yeah.
wanted to know. People have inquiring minds. Okay.
And then after that, that same week on the Saturday, August 15th, we're going to have the Blessing of the Grapes celebration, which I did last year, and it was just amazing. The weather was fabulous. We had 2 different classic car cruise-ins. We had music. We had food. What we do during that, Virginia Carr will be doing a service to recognize farmers, workers, winemakers, and all other elements associated with the harvest.
Okay. Wow. You're really busy.
I know.
So where do you got any more?
I have one more.
Okay, one more.
This is a new one, so I don't have a lot of details yet. I'm working with the United Way. I'm going to meet with their
wow.
board of directors on May 4th, and I'll have more information after that. But we're going to hold the Tour Divine and Taste of Chautauqua at the Grape Discovery Center on September 12th.
Holy mackerel.
I know, it's great.
This is, wow. Like, I'm sitting all like, double wow. I mean, I'm sitting there in the Grape Discovery Center that had no display cabinets. There was nothing in the room except me, the rug, and a little bit of wood around me. And now when you go in there, it's like, wow, and all these things are going on.
Right, and that's where volunteers come in. I am looking for more volunteers.
To do what?
Well, to come in, they can either greet visitors coming in, they can give tours in the exhibit room, and we can do some training with that. They can pour wine at the wine tasting bar, and we can do some training with that as well.
They get free samples?
After
Of
5.
juice. when they're not
Free samples of juice all day, of
Okay.
course. And I have free samples of juice all day,
Okay.
every day.
Okay.
Just interacting with the visitors.
So make people feel welcome, and you know, our volunteers are so important. We have we're all volunteers here at the studio, and but the history that all our volunteers bring to the situation, they can tell you where restaurants are, they can tell you where the local gas station is, how to get to Westfield Memorial Hospital. I always do a plug for the hospital. You know, they can give you directions and things like that, so that's great. If you were to describe how to get to the Grape Discovery Center for our friends that are listening on the radio this week, how do they go from Jamestown to the Grape Discovery Center? Let's start there.
All right, well, go from Jamestown to Mayville,
Okay.
go straight through the red light,
After it turns green.
8 miles to Westfield, right? 8 miles to Westfield, you hit their red light, take a left, we're about a mile down the road on your left-hand side.
Real easy. So
Very easy.
394 all the way to Westfield. Make a left.
Right?
Left.
Left.
Who's on first? See how easy the show is? It's a
Right.
lot of fun. Okay. Andy, you're just jumping at the
I'm
bit.
just
You got
jumping
this,
at the
you got
well,
this
I'm
thing.
just
I'm
following up
afraid
with,
you're going to hurt me here.
with Christina and talking about the visitors to the center. It's a self-guided exhibit room, but if we know a group is coming in, or a bus load or something, we like to have somebody there to talk to them. And Christina had a Girl Scouts the other night, and then
Yeah.
last week I had a STEM group of children,
Okay.
students from
Tell the viewers what STEM is. I know what it is.
science, technology, engineering, and math, I believe.
Right.
And it was a special group. And so we try to make the thing educational. We try to make it interactive. And so there are a number of exhibits in the...
I don't think you try. You do it.
Right.
It's educational.
One
period.
of the questions that we ask kids, or kids ask us, is how do you know when the grapes are ready to be picked?
Oh, yeah.
Well, a little interactive. This is a little refractometer that farmers and most people in the grape industry will probably have in their pocket come fall grape season. All you do is put a drop or two of grape juice on here, close this, look through there, and it's like reading a thermometer. And so the color chart will tell you, oh, it's 13% bricks, 14, 15. So basically interactive. I'll put a drop of juice on there or soda or something else, and you can. It's a prism that light reflects differently based on the amount of sugar in a solution. And so things like this where you're teaching the kids a little bit of science along with explaining other aspects of the grape industry. So yeah, we like to have tours, groups, and so on, and we try to have somebody there to talk to them.
Brix, B-R-I-X, and
right.
that's a unit of sugar.
A measure of sugar in a solution.
Okay, hold your breath. We have a phone call. You ready? I don't know who it is. Good morning, caller.
Oh, good morning, Jack. Good morning, Andy.
Oh,
Christina.
no, it's Linda. She asks hard questions. No, good morning,
I'm
Linda.
calling late. I was out. It's great to see you on the show. And I wish you all kinds of success. And I would just like to say that I'm calling on behalf of the Chautauqua County Office for the Aging for various aging services at 753-4471.
Do your folks go to the Grape Discovery Center?
You know, I just love grapes. I love grape juice. And wine is very good for you with your dinner if you're able to have it.
Okay.
We have had some senior groups, and I know we've had some church senior groups come, and so they're welcome.
Yeah, it's wonderful that we have these vineyards and all the things that we can do with it. It's great for our farming industry. It's great for tourism, and it's just wonderful to live here with it.
Okay, anything exciting coming up, Lynn?
Nothing coming up except that we do have our computer training in Dunkirk, Westfield, and Brockton, and Jamestown, which is free, entry level for people who are 55-ish and over.
5-ish. I guess I'm ish. Okay, we're good. Andy,
Just a comment on tourism and the attractions that we have in the area. I think there's a poster behind me. One of the things that the Heritage area developed was a scenic drive route. It's a 66-mile drive that leads from Silver Creek and basically goes through the almost through the escarpment all the way to Harbor Creek. But that route was picked out. I picked it out. Basically, when you're driving along 20 and 5, you don't see both grapes and vineyards in Lake Erie. This route basically is intended to show you some of the beautiful natural resources and vistas that you get if you just get up into the hills a little bit. And so we have a scenic drive route. Needs more publicity and needs more maps and so on. But I would encourage people, and a lot of times when somebody comes to the Grape Discovery Center from out of the state, I tell them, take a half a mile or mile drive up to Hardscrabble Road, and you'll see how much the scenery changes, just get that change in elevation, where now you see the valley, the vineyards in Lake Erie and into Canada. It's just beautiful, and it's such a scenic area when you do that.
Good point.
I'm going to take that route.
Go
I'm
for
going
it.
to take that route within the next week.
You report back next week.
Okay.
All right, Linda, have a wonderful weekend. Thanks for
Thank
calling.
you. I wish you the same.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
great. So, Christina, it would seem to me that when people come to the center, then you are sort of like an information center that you can send them up the hills to that restaurant,
Right.
down the road or whatever. You get a lot of that?
We are the official visitor center for the Concord Grape Belt Heritage area. And I get asked so many questions from where to eat, where to go, what to do. I have people traveled from, in 2014 I had visitors from 37 states and 9 different countries visit the center.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm looking to get all 50 states this year and even more countries is my goal.
Okay, for those of you who are watching from Alaska, we're on YouTube. We're on YouTube. I know people watch us from around the world. Yeah. And now that we're on the radio, they could be listening because they put them on, wherever they put us. So anyways, 2.5 minutes left. Anyways, I get these voices in my head. We got to start wrapping up here. But anyways, that's really cool, and it's really growing. Okay, real quick, Christina, future plans as far as big picture. Where do you see this going?
Well, we do have some big plans. We've had a couple proposals come to us.
Okay.
I'm not going to go too much into that right now until we
So
have
some
it.
expansion?
Definitely.
And I know that Andy had told me there was talk about doing some antique museum in the back of some of the equipment, things like that, you thinking?
That's what we're, a number of different things that we're looking at and exploring right now. But we do have another 8,000 square feet that is undeveloped right now. So funds and other support, and hopefully we'll continue to grow. We're a work in progress.
Okay, great. Christina, take some time, tell them what you want to know, what's coming up, and how to get a hold of you.
All right. You can contact me at 716-326-2003. You can email me at manager@grapediscoverycenter.com. You can check out our website, www.grapediscoverycenter.com. You can also find information by visiting, because I'd like more visitors. I'd like to see more visitors, please.
It's free, it's free.
Right, it's free. And I'd be happy to take you around. Even though it's a self-guided tour, if I have the time, I'm back there with you.
Okay, folks, you've been watching Chautauqua Sunrise. I'm Doc Hamels. My guests today have been Christina McKane and Andy Dufresne. And I hope that you enjoyed what they've been talking about here at the Grape Discovery Center in Westfield, New York. Give them a shout. Give them a visit. It's great. I love it down there. Thanks for being on the show. We'll bring you back again maybe next year. Okay?
Sounds great.
Wonderful.
All right, y'all have a good weekend. Here's the cows. And next week we have our special guest, State Senator Catherine Young, who is a great supporter of the Grape Discovery Center. Thanks for all the crew here at the Access 5 station, and for those at WRFA in Jamestown. You take care. Have a great weekend. See how easy that was?
Oh, yeah.
We're done.
Did we cover everything?